Hey guys, I've got here a Pioneer home theatre amplifier. It's a vsx-D509S. Got all the standard, 5.1 sort of features. Relatively nice amp. It seems to have, well, it's got two problems. The first one is it's randomly shutting down. I assume when it's getting hot or overworked. So I think we'll just open it up and have a look at the solder joints around the amplifier section. Perhaps that's all it is. And the other issue is this volume knob. You can see here the kind of barely registers, and I'm spinning it anti-clockwise, so it should be going down, and it's going up at the moment, so definitely some issues there. Could this be one of these digital encoders that maybe the contacts are dirty internally or something like that? Or could even be a solder joint, or yeah, we'll have a look. They're the two main problems, and we'll open it up. There might be something else going on in there, but we'll take a look. So that's the back of the volume control. It's a very small PCB. Just noticed all this sort of gunge on there. Just wondering if that's somehow related to the issue. I'll give it a good clean. It looks like it was just a bunch of flux. So I think we'll take the board out and might have to disassemble the encoder pot. It's a fair bit of like contact grease in there, but contacts also look relatively dirty. Some very fine fingers on there too. So I think we'll just try cleaning it up and reassemble it. Oh, that outside ring definitely has a lot of dirt built up on it, so maybe that's all the problem is. Okay, let's turn it back on. And that's as good as new, which is good. Just needed a good clean. It's actually a very integrated unit. You can see here this Pioneer hybrid amplifier technology, but basically it's just two massive integrated circuits there for all of the power amps. which is cool. So I'm suspecting maybe the solder joints on those might be worth inspecting. Oh, there's not too much else in here. I'm a bit surprised by the size of the electrolytic capacitors. They're not particularly big, but yeah, let's see if we can get this main board out. There's a heap of screws, but I think it should come out reasonably easy, or at least to be able to get access to the bottom. Okay, so it's a little bit awkward, but you can get the main board, or at least access to it. I haven't got it completely disconnected or removed. It's still connected. Yeah, a lot of the power cables are soldered in, so without desoldering some cables, that's pretty much as good as you'll get in terms of access. But that's fine. So my main area of concern is along the amplifier chips here, looking for dry solder joints. And firstly, I'm pretty surprised by just how fine some of the connections are and traces. They don't look very heavy duty in terms of current carrying capability, but looking closely you can sort of see that there's definitely a few regions where it's getting hot or hotter than other areas. And visually looking at the solder joints, they look in general okay. I was sort of expecting, some catastrophic solder joint problems in this area, but they look okay. With the magnifying glass, however, I did pick up maybe at least 3 or 4 pins that absolutely cracked. So I have a feeling that perhaps that's the cause of the shutdown, the protection mode. I haven't been able to replicate the problem on the bench, but it seems to be shutting down while it's running. So I think that's probably the best bet, just to touch up all the solder joints and the cracked solder joints, and yeah, give it back to its owner and see how it goes. I really think that's all it is. I'm not sure if this camera picks it up, but it's yeah, a few of these pins here that are cracked. And you can sort of see by the discoloration. I mean, it could also be flux residue, but yeah, it's definitely getting hot there, and even some of these pins look a little bit questionable. This one, for example. So I think I'll just run through and desolder them all, and we'll see how we go with that. This one seems to be less discoloured. Left and right. Yeah, I'm not sure which channels that one's responsible for, but perhaps it's doesn't have to work as hard. Maybe it's the rear channels. And I noticed a few other dodgy solder joints, like this one here, for example. So I'll just give it a general touch up and put it back together. We'll see how we go. Okay, so that's it. Pretty happy with how they look. I'll give it a closer inspection and yeah, put it back together. We'll see how it goes. Now there are quite a few screws to remove to get this thing out, and there are a few boards to unplug. There's this guy here. There's also, I found a little ribbon cable down here that needed to come out, and also found I couldn't remove the board without removing this one. And on the heatsink, I had to remove this bracket on this side from the faceplate here, and that allowed me to maneuver that main board out without having to remove too much other stuff. So it wasn't too difficult actually to get that board out. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We're all good. Got some volume again, and yeah, we'll give it back to the original owner, and we'll see how he goes. I think he should be trouble free now. Anyway, hopefully there was something in there that is useful to you, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.